You don't want to underestimate the power of CCTVs. Aside from detecting crime and providing criminal evidence, it reveals some secrets that would have gone unreported. From the woman who found her lost son roaming around to the delivery lady grabbing a bite from a customer's meal, here are 15 shocking clips. Security cameras captured what no one was supposed to see. 15. A woman falls from the ceiling. When the police were invited to arrest some shoplifters at a shop, they didn't expect some mild drama at the scene. The man and woman, suspected to be a couple, tried using a stolen credit card to make purchases at the Ready Mart in Alberta, Canada. When the officers attempted to detain both of them, the man pushed the woman to him and headed for the door. Thanks to one of the store's employees, the officer got hold of him and wrestled him to the ground. Meanwhile, the woman escaped unnoticed in between the scuffle. As other officers arrived, they noticed she had fled and wondered where she had gone. It was until they rushed to the CCTV that they saw her falling through the ceiling and landing on the shelf. She thought she could escape unnoticed through that medium. Seeing no way out of the mess she had created, she returned to the entrance with her hands up in surrender. She and her boyfriend were handcuffed and taken to the station to answer for their crime. The man was later charged with 11 counts bordering on resisting arrest, possessing stolen property, assaulting a police officer, and using a stolen credit card. The woman was also charged with failing to comply with an undertaking, mischief, and obstructing a police officer. 14. Deer crash into a salon. An appointment at the hair salon is one of the most relieving moments for ladies. I mean, walk into that cozy place, get a specialist to care for your hair while you relax watching Netflix and munching a snack. This is sometimes far from reality for most people, especially after a calm Saturday in this salon turned chaotic. While customers were styling, washing, and braiding hair, an unwieldy deer smashed through the window. The event occurred in New York to the dismay of everyone present. Customers were unprepared for it and screamed in surprise. The last thing anyone wanted to see was an animal enter the facility like that. As everyone screamed in fear, the buck ran to the back of the salon as though it had unfinished business there. A brave male customer couldn't take it anymore. He headed towards the animal to investigate what it was doing there. A passerby saw the shattered window and tried to peep to see what was happening when the deer ran in her direction. The deer rams the glass door the second time, hurting the woman outside. She was eventually taken to the hospital to be treated for minor injuries. The deer had already vanished when the cops arrived. Hopefully, it gets justice for this uncanny behavior. Eyewitnesses said they had not seen a deer in the area until that day. They guessed it might have come from nearby woods and lost its way. Since it could not ask questions, it got into trouble instead. 13. Bulldog chases bears off property. The biblical story of David and Goliath replays in my memory when I see videos like this. Like, how dare this bulldog? If only it knew the strength of the animals. It was challenging and how they could devour it in seconds. All these didn't matter to this brave little dog when 2 giant bears invaded his owner's home. The 20-pound animal was shocked to see that his invaders were calmly walking into the property like it was theirs. He charged at the 100-pound animals. The bears were unmoved because the tiny dog was no match for them. Regardless, Jules, the dog, did not give up. The feisty pet continued barking to scare them and raise awareness. He eventually chased them off to the porch and forced them to climb the fence to get off of the property. The homeowner, David Hernandez, later revealed that a third bear, believed to be the cub's mother, was within the vicinity but was off camera. A wildfire in the California region impacted the food supply in the foothills, so the bears were coming down searching for food. David admitted that some of his neighbors feed them, but others are scared of them being around. After bears invaded his home and damaged his property, he installed cameras to keep him alert. Bears are often dangerous to kids and pets. Sometimes it is best to keep them away, especially wild ones. We cannot help but commend Jules, who knew his job description and stuck to it. This reminds me of Mark Twain's famous quote, "It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog." 12. Cow struck with lightning. Lightning strikes are rare, but when they happen, the impact lasts a lifetime. Only security cameras give us trustworthy footage of what happens since they are on standby. This sad event occurred in Idaho and affected a black calf. The camera captured the moment the cows mingled in the pasture, excited for the meal. There wasn't a severe storm or rain, but the strike came from a dry thunderstorm. Dry lightning is more dangerous than normal because it can ignite a fire. This lightning is not so visible because it happened in split seconds, but we can feel its effect. As it strikes, the unfortunate cow falls to the ground and is unconscious. Although strikes like this do not often lead to instant death, the chances of being paralyzed are high. The National Weather Service says 10% of lightning strikes to humans are fatal, while the other 90% result in severe injuries. The rest of the cows were scared to see their comrade on the ground and dispersed for fear that they may be next. Seeing how fast the cow fell, viewers said it would not survive it. They were right about the animal's survival. The poor cow died on the spot. Livestock farmers are forced to count their losses when incidents like these happen. These cows still need to graze outside, and lightning strikes are unpredictable. In this case, no one expected it to happen. Not even meteorologists gave a hint. 11. Cat saves toddler from falling downstairs. Cats love humans as much as we love them. When treated right, they can risk their lives for their owners and best friends. This confidence made this mother leave her toddler with her child for a quick errand. The video was captured by a CCTV camera installed in her house. The child and cat were having a special bonding session in the room when the child starts crawling away from the animal. The feline does not react immediately but watches the child's move. Soon, she was sure that the baby was headed to the staircase. The cat realizes the child is in danger of falling and quickly runs to help. She tries to stop the baby by stylishly pushing her backward. The child is smiling, thinking it is the usual play tactic. The video went viral hours after a user posted it on Twitter. It generated lots of responses from netizens globally. Users praised the brave cat for averting what would have been a fatal accident. Another user commended her for being more than a friend and parent to the child. Of course, you expect thousands of commenters to come after the child's mother. While the cat may have saved the day in this scenario, it may not be around another day. What then would become of the child in the absence of an adult? Maybe cats are truly doing more than parents these days. Do you agree? 10. A heroic man saves a young boy from a train track. There's a reward for every good deed, if not in this life, in the afterlife. This man didn't know this video would go viral or that anyone was watching him when he rushed to save a child's life. Years later, he looks at the video and is proud of himself. He was hailed as a hero after a video of him risking his life to rescue a child went viral. The child was stuck on the train tracks at the Vangani station in Mumbai, India, as an oncoming train barreled into the station. The clip showed him running from a distance to catch up with the child who had fallen off the platform. This footage is thanks to the security camera at the station. The child was walking near an unidentified person before falling into the ditch. The woman tried her best to get him out while screaming, fearing that the child would not make it out alive. He saw what was happening from a distance and rushed to the scene. Thankfully, he pulled the child out successfully, and the train passed without casualty. However, if he delayed for a second more, he or the child would have been crushed because he had barely left the track when the train blew past them. The Ministry of Railways congratulated the anonymous man, whom they revealed his name as Shelki, and rewarded him with 50,000 rupees. Aside from being officially recognized by the government, Indians hailed him as a hero and encouraged everyone to follow in his footsteps. Would you go this extent to save someone? Please leave your answer in the comment box below. 9. Bartender spills a tray of beer. A bartender in New Zealand made the news in 2019 for a funny reason. Not like he did it on purpose. It just happened that the security camera filmed it, and the management released it to the public. I know he feels embarrassed watching the video over and over again, but we can't help it. The clip showed the moment a bartender watched 6 beers on a tray crash on the ground. It was normal for bartenders to occasionally spill customers' drinks, but his reaction made the difference. It was more like a damn it situation. He was torn between rescuing at least one glass or letting everything crash to the ground. It happened so fast that it didn't give him sufficient time to think about it. You could tell he was frustrated and didn't bother about a salary slash. Micah Thompson had worked at the Celsius Gastrobar in Auckland, New Zealand for 2 years, and this had never happened before. Everyone held themselves from laughing out loud. Thompson was invited to explain what happened to the general manager, who even burst into laughter. The bartender was scared and thought he would be fired that day, but he was even more amazed at his boss's reaction. I think that the bar is the most exciting place to work in. Everyone is happy, and no one blames you for an honest mistake. All he needed to do was get another glass, replace the drinks, and resume normal activities. 8. Delivery lady steals customers' food. This video was uploaded online in the heat of the coronavirus pandemic. In 2020, delivery services saw an unprecedented increase in demand. Everyone was indoors except a few guys taking parcels to customers that placed their orders. Food delivery services also took center stage, with more remote workers buying food online. This delivery woman had just arrived at this home, but before delivering the food, he had to take pictures as proof that he delivered it intact. It was the company's standard practice. Unfortunately, this strategy aimed at building trust between the company and delivery partners is faulty on many grounds. You'll find out soon. This CCTV footage shows the rider stealing an order after taking pictures to prove it was delivered. The video shows her putting down the package and taking pictures of it before stealing some. The video was posted on TikTok, and the food delivery company was called out. The footage soon became viral and raked millions of views. The company's spokesperson condemned the act, saying it was working to identify the rider and deactivate her from the platform. They regretted the inconvenience and assured the public of their commitment to customer satisfaction. 7. Hungry bear invades store. A California 7-Eleven employee got more drama than he bargained for on his shift at the store. He was not prepared to host any animal, much more a wild bear. It was a regular overnight shift at the Olympic Valley franchise when a supersized sweet-tooth bear slid through the door looking for chocolate. They only paid attention to the door once they saw who had walked in. A bear! They screamed and everyone took cover. The unbothered giant walked to the shelf full of sweets and chocolates and grabbed as many as his mouth could carry. It was not worried about what they thought of his shoplifting style. After minutes of being fed up with the animal's rampage, they shooed out of the store. Kinson, the storekeeper, ensured the animal left the premises, but not without a mouthful of treats. Despite this bravery, Kinson admitted to having been scared of the animal. He kept his distance and ensured to leave the back door open if the animal charged at him. Seeing that the animal was hungry and needed food, it allowed him to take as much chocolate as he wanted before shouting at it to leave. He found it funny that the bear knew where the chocolate was and went there. This isn't the first time a bear invaded 7-Eleven searching for food. Storekeepers know of their regular visits but are never prepared for them. 6. Child ghost. It's easy to say you don't believe in ghosts because you've never encountered one. Those who have come face to face with these scary creatures swear that they exist. One mom shared a TikTok video of her daughter arguing with a ghost. Please pay attention to what the child is holding in her hand, as it would help you understand the clip better. This child walks into the kitchen with a container in one hand and a blue box in another. She stops abruptly to look at something in front of her, but we don't see anything. Soon she starts talking to the person. You can tell that the conversation was intense and not a coincidence. The creature she was talking to seemed to want what she was holding, but she held back. They soon engage in a tug of war with the child yelling. She eventually pulls back after the ghost changes its mind. The ghost is restless and still wants the blue box. It starts pulling again but gives up. TikTokers were convinced that the unidentified creature wanted to play with the little girl. The mother, Rosie, said her daughter described the entity as a little boy and a little girl. Netizens reacted differently to the story, with one saying she would move out of the house if something like this happened to her daughter. Skeptics said the video was doctored and the child was acting. But I don't see any child become so real and dramatic when it's not even a movie scene. What do you think about this video? 5. Possessed maid. A woman had just returned from work and, in her usual manner, went to replay the CCTV in her room. She was shocked at the revelation. The camera captured the chilling moment her maid appeared to be possessed by evil spirits. Neural Baker suspected the young lady's awkward behavior in the past week, but didn't make much of it. She needed to confirm her suspicion before deciding on firing her or not. The footage showed the maid dressed in a creepy white dress and walking around like a zombie with her hands behind her. The drama occurred in Singapore and has since gone viral. Internet users had a lot to say about it. Many suggested that she should be fired even before an investigation commences. They fear that she may have initiated the kids if she was truly possessed. Another said she may have been uncomfortable with the job and looking for ways to leave, so she crafted the perfect plan. Most migrants are sometimes forced to do odd jobs against their will. Because they are hired by agencies and can't leave, they are forced to remain in the job. This could be the case here. Another user said she was faking it since she paid more attention to the area where the camera was facing. Nurul was grateful that her kids were not at home. Whether or not this is real, no one wants to hire a possessed employee, not even one that does it for fun. 4. Dancing ghost. The question of whether ghosts are real is an age-long debate. Not even experts have a yes or no answer to it. The answer you get depends on who you meet and their personal experiences. In 2017, a Facebook page uploaded CCTV video footage depicting a mind-boggling scene. It showed a dancer practicing inside a multi-mirrored studio. Everything seemed normal until we saw her reflection in the mirror move independently. The dancer is not even aware of this but continues dancing. The video gathered over 4 million videos weeks after it was posted. Everyone kept asking if this was real or one of those famous fake ghost stories. No one, except the anonymous woman, can clear the air. Unfortunately, no one has come to claim the video and explain what happened. Reports of paranormal activities keep flooding the internet. Because of how rampant these stories are, differentiating the real from the fake is a Herculean task. Skeptics are quick to call it a fiction of the eyewitness's imagination, but ghost believers see reasons with them. It is easier to take a side in the debate if you've had a close encounter with these extraterrestrial beings. This video generated over 5,000 comments with users arguing for or against it. The majority of the commenters were against saying it was edited. I'll leave you to decide on this one. Is this ghost real? 3. Snake attack captured on doorbell camera. If you don't love snakes, you should close your eyes for a minute and listen to this story. This visitor walked into his friend's compound on a Sunday morning, but was unaware that a slithery creature was monitoring him. Gerald Haywood was visiting Rodney Copeland in Oklahoma when a snake attacked him. The animal was wrapped around a porch light, but he didn't see it. When he opened the screen door, it popped from the corner of the camera and bit his head before retreating. He didn't bother to know the species that bit him, but alerted his friend, who was still inside. He needed to visit the hospital before things got out of control. Copeland said he watched in horror as his friend stumbled on the door clutching his face. He was scared too. He didn't know he lived with a dangerous animal that could have attacked them at any time. He and his wife took Haywood to the hospital where he was treated. Thankfully, the snake was not venomous, and there was no need to stitch him. Copeland admitted that it was the first time he saw a snake in his home. The slithery creature may have crawled to the corner of the house to take shade from the heavy rain and refused to leave. He said he'll keep them away by spraying sulfuric acid around the environment and physically inspecting it. He and his neighbor knocked the snake off the light and hit it with a hammer. His friend got better, and they lived happily ever after. 2. Son's ghost. A grieving mom was further thrown into more agony after her CCTV allegedly captured the ghost of her dead son. When she saw the transparent figure, she never remained the same. Jennifer Hodge was watching TV with her daughter in the sitting room when her phone beeped. She was notified that her camera spotted someone in the entryway. She was curious to know who it was, so she replayed it. When she opened the image, she saw a transparent male figure resembling her son Robbie, who died some years ago from a drug overdose. Although it's been years since she lost him, she could tell it was him because the transparent figure matched his. She raised the alarm, saying her son's ghost may have been wandering around the house since he died. She freaked out for days but became calm, knowing he would never return. She said his apparition was a sign that he was at peace. If she knew it was Robbie, she probably wouldn't have checked because it would take more days to heal from the trauma. Jennifer used to be one of those people who didn't believe in ghosts, but she couldn't help but admit they existed. Robbie died at 23 after he accidentally took an overdose of fake Xanax. His mother said he was a caring, loving, and giving person who didn't deserve to die untimely. Before his death, he established a charity to help people battling addiction. The only thing she could not figure out was where he got the fake Xanax. If she did, she would have found closure. 1. Ghost patient in Argentina hospital. An Argentina hospital recently spooked social media users when it showed a security guard talking to someone who was not visible. This ghost patient footage because the talk of the town soon after it circulated across popular social media platforms. As expected, it amassed millions of viewers, with curious internet users rushing to see things themselves. The footage was captured by the CCTV installed at the hospital, and the event occurred at 3 a.m. We can see the reception door open on its own with no one coming in, but the security man is alert and gets up from his seat. He proceeds towards the door as if to see who it is. He then removes the line divider to let the invisible person in before initiating a conversation. Social media users were stunned at how engrossed he was in the conversation. Reports say it could be the ghost of a dead patient. Maybe it left something behind and wanted to go inside the ward to retrieve it. Reddit users say he could be joking. Given that it was in the wee hours of the night, no one saw him. But if this was a joke, who opened the door? He also knows there's a CCTV camera that is constantly watched. The management would not take such a joke lightly. Some users were scared watching the footage, saying there could be more the hospital is hiding. The guard is also seen pointing towards the doctor's office and even escorting the unknown creature there. After the video went viral, a spokesperson of the care center told local media that the door was faulty and kept opening multiple times. If this is their submission, so be it. Which of these moments was the weirdest? Please let us know in the comment box below.